Okay, class, I'm very excited to introduce the last steps of our Zentangle designs. We need to finish our border designs, and we also need to finish the background. So those are our main goals the next 2 days. So the first thing today, when you get your work back, you need to make sure that you have completed your hand design and you have finished your border. So those would be the things to focus on first. For example, I would need to finish working up in this area on my artwork. It is a good thing if you're looking and you're wondering, is it done? Finished artwork will show a good balance between dark and light areas. So if it looks all kind of the same, it would be a good idea to go in and start filling in spaces. Like up here, I felt like there wasn't a lot going on. It was simple, so I started to fill in some dark areas to show a balance between the dark and the light. So really look at your artwork, make sure that it's done. Then the next step is we need to cut out this negative space behind our design. So that would be between your hand and your border. So there's this space in here that we need to cut out. So you will need scissors. And I put an X all over it to help me kind of know what I'm cutting out. I don't want to cut my border or my frame here at all. So I am going to actually bend my paper. I don't have to bend it too much. And I'm going to cut, making sure I'm not cutting my hand or any of my design. And then I'm going to put my scissors in that hole I've created, and I am just cutting out all of this space. So I'm going to the border, and I can do it in chunks if that makes it easier. So I'm going to kind of turn my paper and cut out all of this area. A couple things while I'm doing this that I want to remind you of. Before you can glue this down, you need to make sure that all the salt that is on your background paper has been wiped off. So even when it dries, some of that salt is still stuck. So if you have not done that, you might want to walk over to the large garbage can and just kind of run your hand over your background painting to get all that salt off. If the salt's still on, it's going to make it really hard to write on when we're doing the writing part. Now this is a self-portrait, and it's not the normal self-portrait where it's of our face. It's of our hand and our name is in it, and we're gonna write about ourselves behind on the border. So you need to start thinking about what are some things that we can say about ourselves. So a good place to start is always to start with my name. My name is. So that's where I would start with the writing. Then you can kind of flow into, so if I was gonna begin, my name is Beth Gearing. I am the daughter of Lori and Jerry Katowski. I have 2 siblings. My brother Nick and my sister Katie. I grew up in Black River Falls, Wisconsin, and I just keep going from there. So I'm kind of talking about where I come from, and it's called the flow of consciousness. Your brain, you're not really even thinking about it too much. You're just kind of starting at one point, and you just keep writing. So unlike some of your writing assignments that you probably do in your classroom, where you need to look at it and edit it and rewrite it, we're just going to start at the beginning with my name is and kind of see where that takes us. So as I'm cutting this out, if you get to an area that's kind of hard and you don't want to turn, you're afraid you're going to cut your finger off, then you can just do chunks as you go. So once I have this all cut out, I am going to glue this to the back. I'm going to finish the top part so I can at least start writing it to show you guys. And I really want to emphasize that a finished artwork will show that balance of dark and light. So if you're looking at yours and it's all used the same kind of thickness of Sharpie and you didn't color any areas in, those would be those finishing touches as you get done. If you get done early, I'm going to really push you and challenge you to look back at your artwork and see, is there anything more you could add? Could you take a skinny Sharpie if you only use the thick Sharpie and add some, polka dots or squiggle lines or zigzags in between your other designs? It will just make everything really stand out for the viewer. And as an artist, we're always looking for, how does this look like to the viewer? What does it look like? What more could I add? I find these fingers kind of tricky. So we're going to pretend that I have cut all this out. I need to cut these areas and this yet too. Once you have it cut out, you're going to kind of fit it on here. You flip it, and we're going to glue the back. Make sure that everything has glue on it all the way around. I would really emphasize glue on the corners and along the edges so that when we flip this and glue it on, maybe you can have someone help you kind of line it up. you're gonna hold down and count to 10 to make sure it all stays. And then once it's glued down, and you wanna make sure even like these little points are glued, then it's time to start writing your flow of consciousness like we were talking. I have brand new Sharpies for you guys. You don't wanna use a Sharpie that's not working. We're using the flat top Sharpie, the skinny ones. Now how big you write, if you wanna do cursive or you want to print, that is totally up to you. So for mine here, I did cursive and I did it pretty small. I kind of wanted it to be part of the artwork, but not, I wanted a viewer to have to look really close to learn about me and not be too close, or not have it stand out too much. So you can start with, in the corner, my, and if I can't fit name, then I go to the next line. Name is Beth. And now here, I'm gonna skip across to fill in this area. How you fill it in, that is totally up to you. If you wanted to go down here and then up to the top. So my name is Beth Gearing. I could say I was born in, see now my flow of consciousness is taking me different than I was saying before. I was born in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. And then I might say to the parents of Lori and Jerry Katowski, and I would continue. So here I'm printing, and it's a little bit bigger than I did here. So that is up to you and your choice. So have some fun. I'll go a little closer, you can see it. You're filling in this whole area. So if you get halfway and you're like, I don't have anything left, I'm gonna make a list on the board of different things: hobbies, interests, favorite foods. Think of all the things that you could write about that's about you. Have fun, dig deep, really think about how to make this a self-portrait that is unique to you.